This is the Spurs POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the San Antonio Spurs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You knew they were going to lose at some point. You knew it was only a matter of time. You hope it wasn't as ugly as it was tonight. But hey, listen, it happens. Welcome into the Spurs POSTCAST on Locked On Spurs. Of course, the place you're going every night, every game, part of the Locked On Podcast Network when we're recapping all the fun and all the tough times. That hasn't been the case for a little while now, but it was the case tonight. As always, you guys are the ones that drive the ship here, and you're the ones that make all this stuff possible, your engagement, your enthusiasm. You know, we're just a handful of games into the season. We've enjoyed every minute of this process, so we appreciate what you've done, and going forward, your involvement with this. He, of course, NBA champion Devin Brown. My name's Casey. For the first time, we're going to be talking about a losing effort tonight from the Spurs, dropping to 5-1, Devin, and one that particularly I guess you could say there was a lot to unpack, both on the court and I guess thinking a little bit in the future. How this roster is looking like a little bit.
Yeah, welcome everybody to the show. You're absolutely right, Casey. Listen, I'm not going to beat the guys up tonight. I thought about it, but I'm not going to do that. They are 5-1, but we do have some things that we got to unlock today.
All right, let's talk about it.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, so 113-118 is what the final book reads in favor of Phoenix. A game that the Suns, you know, they have those nights where in the NBA you just can't miss, and that was the case. They went up 70-52 at the break, 73% from the field, 11 of 15 from three in the first half. Spurs made a couple flurries late at the end of the game, but largely inconsequential. A career low night, or close to a career low night for Victor Wembanyama. We're going to hit on his struggles in a little bit. 9 points, 9 points, 9 rebounds, 4 of 14 from the field, 6 turnovers. It's only the 5th single-digit scoring game of his career. Castle, the high man, 26, 7, and 5. Devin Vassell, 4 points. Keldon Johnson had 19. Dylan Harper, a big conversation we're going to hit on in a second, had 12 points, but that's not the story with him. Not ideal, but these type of nights happen. And not much you can do when the team is hitting 60% of their threes and a half to start the game.
Yeah, so Phoenix comes out, first 3 possessions of the game, missed a couple of threes. Hey, you're going, hey, Spurs, find your footing and then impose your will. Well, the opposite happened, Casey. Phoenix got hot. Devin Booker started going. We're going to talk more about him later. Hey, 28 and 13 for Devin Booker tonight. He's an outstanding player. He's an all-star. That's what he does. But, you know, I saw some things that were concerning out of San Antonio as far as defense, and that's where it starts. It doesn't matter, you know, who's on the team, who's on the roster. But in a sense, I saw some positive stuff. And, you know, it's Phoenix, man. It's a tough place to play. The crowd, it wasn't a whole lot of people there, but the people that were there, man, Phoenix put on a shooting display. Reminded me of the 04-05 Spurs. You know, guys like Manu, Brent, Devin Brown, guys like that. I mean, just shooting lights out, Casey.
You know, those guys like the Devin Brown, you know, you don't consider him a sniper, but you bring him off the bench and they hit a couple and then you just let them keep going, right?
Hey, you hit a couple, next thing you know, your field goal attempts go up to 20.
And then you don't see the floor for a couple days after that.
No, because Pop's like, what are you doing, young fella? What are you doing?
Let's dial it back and in a little bit, fellas. They end the night, the Suns do, going 19 out of their 33 tries from the field. Certainly not the most aesthetically pleasing night on the defensive end.
Right.
That, however, is not going to be the end concern. I keep looking down because I want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Right.
At the end of the night, because we're talking about Dylan Harper and something that not necessarily is the turning point of the game, but could be a turning point the next couple of weeks.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
All right, so late second quarter, Dylan Harper, who actually came off the bench and was the high man for the Spurs in the first half, he had 12. On an attempt that he was trying to, he got caught on a mismatch trying to defend Nick Richards, their center, in the paint. Richards dunked the ball, but he was kind of boxed out on the entry feed and planted his foot back, left the game, didn't return. Spurs says it was a left. Spurs, the PR said it was the left calf. Obviously, not ideal. Especially, we talked so much about the depth of the guards this year. They're just dropping left and right, and all of a sudden you can't have too many guards, right? I think now we wait, and maybe by the end of the show, Mitch Johnson will say something and we get a better idea. We'll keep an eye on it. But obviously, this is the big cautionary thing that comes out of the game.
Oh, most definitely, because of his game. You know, he's a high dribble guy, likes to get into the lane, likes to go on left, right, left. And so if you have a calf injury, you know, you really got to be cautious with this thing. And like you said, I love what you said. It's going to they're going to keep their eyes on him for about a week or two. But this is something you cannot push. This young man really depends on getting into the paint and being effective for San Antonio. So we got to keep an eye on that calf.
Yeah, and it was before you and I started, we had a conversation that unfortunately, due to the Tatum injury, due to the Halliburton injury, and honestly, just kind of injuries as a whole that you see all the time with these Achilles things, it feels like, especially in the NBA, the focus is turning, and you're seeing it to a certain extent with Sohan, that they're almost kind of treating these things like concussions, these calf injuries, because they're sore, they go out there, and then, you know, God forbid, the next thing happens, that Achilles tears, and they lose a year. So yes, I agree. I'm not sure even if it's a strain, I'm not sure when we're going to see Dylan Harper back.
All right. So you know me, sometimes I like to take it down a road. I'm going to take it down this road real quick. This isn't football. This is basketball. This is NBA basketball. So we're all considered soft, you know, because football players go out there, they break stuff, pop stuff back in on the sidelines, get out there. No. I was an NBA player once. Listen, we don't do that. We don't do that. If you're not feeling right, your toenail, your fingernail, take some time off. Okay, get it right. So when you're dealing with that calf, what you don't want, like you're saying, is that Achilles. That's a year and a half. So with the calf, and especially the way he plays now, if he was your high volume 3-point shooter where, you know, you halfway guard on one end and you're down there firing, you know, 11, 12, 13 threes on the other end, like say a Royce O'Neal. Hadn't seen that guy. Didn't even know he was in Phoenix. He had a good night tonight. If you're like that, you know, where you're not really concentrating on a whole lot of things, you can stay out there. But that's not Dylan Harper's game. Never will be his game. He likes to get in that lane, get others involved. So we got to keep an eye, you know, on the status of what the Spurs put out there.
Well, another thing with the Harper aspect of it too, and I was actually worried a little bit more when the thumb search situation happened in the offseason. And I'm over there at media day and he's taking pictures and he's not even dribbling the ball on photo day with his left hand. So I'm thinking to myself, I don't know when we're going to see this guy. So maybe I'm slightly a pessimist, but when you see a guy from your experience, these rookies that come in that are anticipated to be a vital part of the team rotation, you know, be a significant part of what the game plan is. How does this type of injury, like a 2-3 week, even a month type injury, kind of derail things?
Well, I mean, if you're Dylan Harper, you're wanting to do treatment 24/7. You want to know why, Casey? Watch this. De'Aaron Fox is coming back. Okay, he's going to play high minutes. We were already going to have this tug of war at that position. So this time miss for Mr. Harper, you're giving everything to De'Aaron Fox. So you want to get your treatment, be where you need to be. Will 17 has been with the Spurs for 40 years. Get with him as much as you can, okay? Because with De'Aaron Fox coming back, that guy's an all-star. So that's all I got to say about that.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it in the next few minutes. Hopefully we get something before we sign off. Until then, though, we'll step aside real quick. And when we come back, we want to talk about something that has not happened so far this season. Victor Wembanyama has looked normal. We haven't seen that all year. Tonight, that happened. We try to figure out how the Suns did it. And then hit on the Lakers game that's coming up in a couple days from that as well. All that's coming up in just a little bit here on the Spurs postcast on Locked on Spurs, but want to talk to you first about a couple of our friends. Your ambition has met its match. Talking to you about Robinhood. With Robinhood, you play for the win, not just on game day, every day, locking in on every opening. You beat your PR, beating it again. Feel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. You trade stocks, ETFs, options, futures, crypto, all on one platform. And you can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends Advanced Tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood Strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. You can get started today at robinhood.com/your money. Again, that's robinhood.com/your money. Your money, your move. As we know, we're talking about money. Something we feel about is going to basketball games. We don't mind spending money there, right? Nothing beats being in the arena for these first weeks that we've had, really any point. But let's be real. If you're anything like me, I don't like buying tickets. There is no other way to buy them online, but you have to, because I'm not crazy about all the queues and stuff that pop up. But that's where Game Time comes in. That gives the fans the advantage, if you will. Some even call it the ultimate life hack. I recently used it to get seats for a game out of town, and actually an NFL game, and it wasn't an issue getting the tickets. I'm glad. Simple, easy, great interface, no hidden fees, nothing like that. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code Locked On NBA for $20 off your first purchase. As always, terms apply. And finally, before we get back to action, let's talk about Rugiet. We're be real. And making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm tired. It happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs little extra supports, and that's where Rugiet comes in. Offers a fast-acting doctor-prescribed treatment for ED, designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Fast, simple, private, all handled by a team of real doctors. It's about the confidence, connection, getting back to the moments that matter. Visit at rugiet.com/lockedonnba. Going to get 15% off your first order. One more time, rugiet.com/lockedonnba. Don't forget to use that code. Tell your friends over there that fine folks on Locked On are taking care of you. Let's get back to trying to figure out what went wrong with Wemby tonight. As always, welcome back. This is the Spurs postcast on Locked On Spurs, recapping rough night for your silver and black of San Antonio. They lose 130-118 for the first time this season, dropping to 5-1. He is UTSA Hall of Famer, NBA champ Devin Brown. One guy who did not play like that of a champion tonight, or look like it, was Victor Wembanyama, because for only time, the man was kept in single-digit scoring. Has only happened first time since the fourth game of the season last year against Oklahoma City. We were talking before we came on that it was kind of interesting the way the Suns went at it, because it seemed like they were kind of playing them straight up, but it was assertiveness from Vic that he just didn't really take advantage of it to begin with. And then the Suns got aggressive, and he never really fell into place.
Well, so here's the thing. First couple of possessions, they were playing him straight up, like you said. And then, one of the things that I talked about with you that was concerning was where Victor was posting up. All right, that mid-range, that Karl Malone, that Gary Payton area. The thing about it is when the Suns got aggressive and they came after him on the catch, on the pass. So when the pass is in the air, what we're doing, Casey, is we're going over there with high hands, double team, make him get rid of it. We know that the Spurs, for years have been a corner three team, but guys like Champagnie, guys, some of the other guys they haven't been shooting the ball well. So Phoenix said, you're going to have to beat us from the outside, but Victor's not going to beat us. Now, here's your counterpoint. What I'd like to see Victor do, and I'm pretty sure Tim's already texted him, I like to see him go lower on the block, catch it there, make them double from there. It's you're 7'5". I told you, before the broadcast, I saw too many passes over his head at 7'5", catching, and he's playing on his heels. That's one of the first things the coaching staff will tell him. Victor, you can't play on your heels. When you play on your heels, you're no good to us, right? So he'll learn that, but I like to see him throw it out, reestablish position lower, and then go from there, because that's a tough double team when you're on the block as opposed to that mid-range area.
It feels like when and maybe it's because Victor is just such a big human.
Yes.
It feels like he's taking up even that much more space on those, high posts, free throw line extended, when he starts trying to, gain post position all the way from there. But it feels like when he starts doing that, I don't want to say things go downhill.
Right.
That's probably too strong, but it feels like the possession just kind of stagnates. And you wonder, who am I to say something like this? But why is that kind of like, does he make that kind of, I don't want to say a focal point, but when there's so much in his bag, like, why is he making something like that like a concerted effort to do? You know what I mean?
Okay. And I understand and understand this as well, because there's a lot of times Phoenix was switching 1 through 5. So there were some times that Royce O'Neal, the young man, number 11 for Phoenix. Anyway, Phoenix was getting away with guarding Wemby with guys. You're going, Wemby, catch the ball, turn around, and go at him. You know, how many times did I yell that? How many times did you yell that? Go at him. Like, stop accepting. It's like he's accepting the double team, and then, sometimes Wemby, 7'5", and the guy throws it across court. I mean, if he throws it anywhere near your height, you're diving to the third row trying to catch the basketball. He's so tall, So I needed more out of him tonight. The Spurs needed more out of him tonight, but it's a great learning spot. Let's go back to originally answering your question. He was very human tonight. Now, for the Spurs moving forward, we don't need him human. Whatever, I don't like his nickname. I don't know where that came from, so I'm not going to call him that on our broadcast. But we don't need him human. That's all I'm saying, Casey.
Is this the type of thing that, I don't want to call it a blueprint, but in your mind, because there has been so little that has worked to containing the Spurs offense right now, that's anchored by him. When you see that kind of struggle, it feels like when that is happening and the shots on that, just kicking it out of the interior, and the shots are not falling like it was the case for a lot of people or for a lot of guys on the team, the catch and shoot. I don't want to say that that's kind of like a way to beat this team, it feels like, but it feels like that's something like that they're very susceptible to being burned. And we knew that, but I feel like tonight we really saw it, especially when Vic is, the decision-making is not there.
Yeah. So there, and I touched a little bit on this on a previous, episode. Listen, there's about 3 or 4 players. We got to keep an eye on this right here, what I'm about to say. There's about 3 or 4 players that are watching Victor's body language. And if they don't feel like the big fella has it, they're going for theirs. Right. Okay. I see right away. So and another thing that I saw tonight, and Castle, let's give credit to Castle. Castle had a good game. Him and Devin Booker were battling, and they were talking to each other all game. All game. They are battling, and they're talking back and forth. So when you, as a young player, and Mr. Castle is a young player, when you're in charge of a team like you are, getting everybody their shots, making sure Victor gets his shots, comfortable shots, things like that, but then you have their best player yapping in your ear. Yeah. And I saw some possessions where Castle said, you know what? I love you guys, but I got to take care of this Booker guy because he is yapping at me. And you love the aggression of
that's a good point.
26 points.
Yeah.
But
that's a good yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
When you're down 10, when you're down 12, and the Spurs were there a couple of times, and Victor kicked it out, for some wide open threes. And the first 5 games, those threes were going in. But tonight, I needed him to get himself going in that second half. You and I talked about it, wanted to get that lead down to 10, couple technicals, didn't happen. But in the second half, I was expecting Wembanyama to come out on fire, but it was a slow night.
And I think I think he will. I mean, better chances more so than not that it's gonna that's going to happen. Real quick, before we put a bow on things, unless I missed, apologies if I missed it on the Spurs FanDuel side of things, but Harper was in a boot back on the bench at the end of the game. So I don't know if that was the Phoenix broadcast that had that or not. All I know is I didn't catch that, so that's on me. I should have caught that. Dylan Harper was seen in the boot on the bench. With you, Will. But yeah, that's you hope not the big loss from tonight. But if you look at the numbers, 130, 118 is what the scoreboard reads as San Antonio goes down on the road against the Suns, and they lose to a Phoenix team that just couldn't miss tonight, including one player in particular, a player of the game tonight.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
D-Book doing D-Book things.
Hey, listen, played excellent. 28 and 13. You'll take that every day of the week. He was phenomenal. Everything. He gets to his spot, and I teach my players this. You get to your spot, and his spot's right around that free throw line. Hey, you don't have anything. He did a great job of kicking it out, 13 assists. But D-Book was D-Book, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm. He was. And again, sometimes when a team hits 19 out of their 33 threes, you just tip your hat and you say,
like that.
We'll see you next time. And it's the first loss of the season because you consider preseason as well. So something had to finally give. All right. Of course, Lakers on deck on Wednesday. That is going to be an ESPN game.
Yes.
That is real quick before we put a bow on things. That's a primetime game. Spotlight's going to be on the Spurs. There is a level of accountability that's there, though. How do they erase tonight?
All right, let's just say this. Today's Sunday. They play Wednesday. So some of these guys that are hurt, you're going to be out there in that nice sunshine, 70 degrees for a couple of days. Get yourself together now. All right, go to Venice Beach. I know where you guys are staying. The beach is right there. Get in that water. Dip your toes in that water and get ready for Wednesday because the stars are coming out. The stars are going to be out there. Victor, I predict right now he's going to have a big game, Casey.
It can't get much worse than 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 of 14 in shooting and 6 turnovers, right?
Hey, me and you could have done that.
Yeah,
me and you could have done that.
That was only 9 more than you and I had combined.
Hey, I know. Yeah.
All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for Mr. Brown and I. 130-118 defeat. Spurs go down, their first loss of this season. Be sure to come back tomorrow morning or really any point during the day. Catch a recap of all this if you missed the front end. And, of course, Jeff Garcia has got everything today, your day-to-day Spurs coverage on lock with the day-to-day podcast, Locked on Spurs. Again, Wednesday night, San Antonio back in Los Angeles trying to get back on the right side of the ledger. We'll see what they do. We'll keep an eye out for the Dylan Harper thing because that's major. Whether he plays, whether it doesn't, I don't know. You'd assume no, but we'll find out either way. We'll be there at the end of the game. So be sure to come back after the game, hopefully talking about a Spurs win and good vibes, better than tonight. Listen, something had to give, and it gave.
And it's okay.
And it's okay. It happens. Let's be honest. The league wasn't ready for an 82-0 Spurs team.
No.
They were not.
Neither were the Dolphins. So.
Yeah, right.
They're celebrating.
81-1. And when they do, if they do, Devin and I will be right there along with it. So for Mr. Devin Brown and I, the NBA champion, my name is Casey Viera. Thanks for checking in. Have a nice night. Spurs go down tonight in the Valley of the Sun.